June 20. This is the hybrid solar inverter that I bought a few days ago. It was delivered a couple of days ago, or yesterday, a couple of days ago. And it's 9,200. So the inverter can take in 80 volt DC, but however, if I look at the manual, that's the maximum floating voltage specified. So when you're buying these things, it would be really nice if one can get the manual before buying one. It just throws you off. It throws me off a little bit, but that's how it is. So it has a built-in solar charger, 50 amps, and the 3 kVA output, 230 volts AC, around 13 amps, 10 amps, and the reason why this one was bought was basically for cost, and more cost than functionality. It does the job. When you're buying this kind of equipment, one must look at the specs. Very little is shown from Lazada website, so you really look at the data being presented, and that's how it works. Here they're saying, well, use a 260 watt solar panel. Now where one would be able to get 260 watt solar panel? I haven't seen one. So there's 100 watt, 200 watt, and then you go up to 400, 500, that sort of thing. So you have to factor in the missing information. So the model is PS3K-24 volts. So 3000 VA with the power factor rated 2400 watts. So in theory you could power up a aircon 1 horsepower, maybe 2, pushing it with 2. When this is plugged to AC outlet, then these are the rating. When this is running on a solar panel, then these are the rating. Maximum PV array power that you can connect to it is 1200 watt. That's effectively using the 50 amps. So this is what I mean. Open circuit voltage is 80 volts. There's some safety margin, but when they say 80, you don't want to go above 80. And the quiescent power consumption is 2 watt. So if nothing is plugged to the inverter, then it's going to consume 2 watts. And that's how it is. It has to run on something. That's the inverter. So it could run PC, TV, electric fan. So max PB input is 60 VDC. I'm gonna push that. But let's see, 20, yeah, you could do that. So I'm going to use the RS-232 communication port to control it, but that's later. So this is the connection. You could connect to AC, or you could connect to solar panel. Connect them both and then configure it, and then it will derive power it will derive power from AC if it's configured for AC. Otherwise, if the power from pole is a blackout or brownout, then it would switch to UPS type model. So there's several modalities of this inverter. So one has to read up the manual quite a bit to fully understand it. Yeah, these are the rating. So if you're interested in this, it's from Lazada, and the model is the PS-3K. That's all the word search you need. And the battery, of course, is this one. Is 12 volts and 150 amp hour. So for the purpose of what Jerry is trying to do, it's sufficient, and one can always add more batteries. So what is 150 amp hour means? Basically, the battery will be able to source 150 amp instantaneously. I mean, 1 hour is 1, so 150 amps times 1 hour is 150 amp hour. So what it's saying is, this battery is able to source output 150 amp in a duration of 1 hour, but that's not really true. So it's just a specs. It's you can use the specs to give you some additional data based from one's own experience. So it's 8,500. Of course, we bought 2. If you live in Metro Manila, the shipping cost is less. If you live out in the boonies, the shipping cost is more. So that's basically give and take. So I'm not really getting into the solar panel. It's just solar panel, nothing special. Now we want to get down to the nitty-gritty. How useful is this equipment? So the manual that came with the inverter gave me these data sets. So we look at load, basically what's being powered. So we have 300 VA to 3000 VA. So it's, the inverter is rated for 3000 VA. It has this intermediate range that it can drive. Now using a 100 amp hour, actually I bought this, but I had to interpolate this because there is no data for this part. So I was given data for this and this. So I interpolate the 150 amp hour by taking 1100 minus 449, then divided by 2, and then add 449. Basically, it's interpolating. So so this is VA, and this is amp hour in minutes. Basically, if the load is drawing 300 VA, then it's able to support 449 minutes. Now if the battery capacity is 200 amp hour, then it would be able to support 300 VA 1100 minutes. And you say, well, what's 1100 minutes? So let's see, 1100 minutes divided by 60, that'll give you the hours. So this would be 18 hours. So if you look at this, the load is drawing 3000 VA, then it only lasts about half an hour. Here is, of course, doubling the capacity. It's not exactly double, but one can see it's around double. So it's 67 minutes, 1 hour basically. Okay, this one is half an hour, this one is slightly over an hour. And if you're using 150 amp hour, then it lasts 48 minutes, about an hour, close enough. If the load, for example, since I don't have really data, I can interpolate. But anyway, suppose I have 30 VA. Okay, what would that do? Well, if I have 30 VA, that's then it would be 10 times this. So it would be 10 times this cell, 10 times this cell, and then of course this one 10 times this cell. Now of course this is now 11,000. What is 11,000? 11,000 divided by 60. So that would be 183 hours. Let's see, we do that in days. So days divided by 24 hours in a day. So if with this, it would the inverter would be able to support 30 VA around 8 days. Okay, what about this one? How many days, or how many hours? Or this one? So let's see. Minutes divided by 60. So 129 hours. Okay, how many days is that? This divided by 24, it would be 5 days. So basically, the lesser the VA, the lesser the load, the longer the inverter and battery is able to support that load. So this is how this system of VA is utilized. So how useful is this information? It's actually pretty useful. Based from this, you can decide whether to add more capacity. The more capacity, you can then say, okay, well, I want so there's a difference between want and need. So let's be clear about that. I mean, you can want the system to work 24/7. When you do that, then you need to have more capacity and more solar panel. And depending on your load, you might want a different inverter that would give you, say, 5,000 VA. Okay, let's say you want 5,000 VA. So so you balance your need and want versus your funds. The more fund you have, the more you're able to increase your solar panel. You know, you can have, right now we have 3 solar panels, so that's 600 watts. And of course, with 600 watts, with charging capacity of 50 amps. You know, charging is charging rate is related to capacity. For example, 150 amp hour is capacity C. So this let's say for example 150 amp hour capacity, then your charging rate would be based from your inverter is 50 amps. Okay, so then your hour to charge would be 50 times 100, 50 times 3, so that's 3 hours. So you can see, so then you could say the charging rate is 1/3 C, C being this 150 amp hour. So now you ask yourself, well, can I charge the battery even higher to 1C? You could, but there's a limit to how fast you want to charge the battery, because now you have to factor in heat. You could damage one could damage the battery by overcharging them and shorten the life of a battery. So that's how it is. So I plotted the three curves or data, and I have these different pattern, of course. So you can project into your VA. So the lesser the VA, for example 30, here, the lesser the VA, then the longer the time that it would be supporting that VA. So that's there is a dramatic decrease in time when the load is high. So you can see with 3000 VA, then the dramatic load or time is here is time getting down to 0 is really it really decreased fast. So that's how it is. So from this information, you can balance your solar panel numbers and or your battery capacity. So yeah, the lower the VA, the longer that you can utilize the inverter. Okay, it could go into hours and then into days. That's how it works. I don't know how to explain it any more than this. Maybe later I'll visit this again as I go through and fixate the solar energy system. Just for the fun of it. It's going to be a fun minute playing with this system. So if you have any question, hopefully I'm able to clear up what the VA is and what the battery capacity, what that means in relation to VA or power being used or something like that. So basically, the more power, the lesser time the battery will last in capacity. The lesser VA, the longer the battery will last. Makes sense? So I don't know how to explain it anymore. That's it. So the next few videos coming up will be putting the system together. and have fun at it. Hopefully you'll be having fun seeing me having fun. Thanks for watching.